here with episode 2 of Bluff City Law, and with this episode we have Elijah like walking and meeting up with a lady, and there's an auction going on. Come to find out, excuse me, a lady he's known for a long time, like she's a friend. Her name's Emma. Like her farm is being sold, so they're trying to auction off all of her things. And then we have them talking. He's like, why didn't you come to me? And she's like, when stuff happens on your farm, you don't go to a lawyer, you go to other farmers. And so then we have Sydney, like, excuse me, rushing through like a country club onto a golf field, and she's like getting a paper to a judge to sign, and he looks so irritated, like, girl, you really interrupted my golf game with your law shit. And so she's like, she got the paper signed from him, and then comes back to where rushes to where the auction is, I should say, and gives it to the auctioneer, like, here, and tells the people, I'm sorry, but there will be no auction today, it's canceled. And the guy tried to hurry up and clean it up. He's like, delayed. It ain't canceled, it's delayed, you know. We'll be back at a later date. So for right now, Emma's farm isn't sold. So then she asks them, like, what's next? So Sydney tells her, like, they're gonna go to court and show how what was it called, Terrenial, I believe it's Terrenial, how they're a seed company. Like, they have the big old bags of seeds, you know, plants, and show how they like force themselves into, excuse me, into your harvest and all that type of stuff. And, you know, basically you're gonna get your land back, but that's not what happened. The judge basically said, like, Sydney had an arguing case, but I guess Terrenial like had sued so many people that they're within their right of suing for her land, and her land is theirs now. So the thing is, they have these seeds, and they ask people to try their seeds, and then when you harvest and grow with their seeds, they sue you saying that your crops are theirs, and they've been winning their cases. And so throughout the episode, we just have them trying to fight against, you know, the big corporation. And at first it seems like they're not gonna win, but then the company is also trying to use scare tactics. They have somebody, it's a different person every time, but somebody is sitting outside of their farms just looking, like they're not on their property, it's just like right outside, but they're in that car just watching them day to day. And let's see. So what they decided to do was to charge the company as like an organized crime, because they basically like said they was acting like gangsters. So it's just like, how do you treat gangsters? You go after them as an organized crime family. And the farmers got on the stand and told their story, like, they asked us to use their product, we say no, and when they say no, they sue us, and they push us out of our, you know, out of our farms. And a lot of people saying that the farms were in their family for like over 100 years, and now they don't have them. They had to go get regular jobs because of these people. And then within that, you have Sydney and Elijah. Like, it's awkward. And Emerson comes into Elijah's office, and he says, should I quit? You know, like, should I just quit? Because Emerson is his son, and he just found out almost 2 years ago. And once again, it's something between Sydney and Elijah. And I'm like, I know, it sucks. You grow up thinking your dad is such this great person, and then you find out that he's not the best relationship-wise. Because it's just like, he was a good dad to you, but you found out that he was cheating on your mom. And if your mom decided to stay, it's just like, how are you really mad at him? And then one of those relationships produced a baby. It's just like, what are you gonna do? You can be upset, but you can't, because it's just like, it doesn't affect your relationship as his daughter, like you being his daughter or him being your father, if you guys had such a great relationship. It's just like he was an asshole to your mom. And so that was one of her questions. She just like, did mom know? And come to find out, she did. Like, they both found out at the same time. But nobody told Sydney, because it's just like their relationship was already strained, Sydney and Elijah. So it's just like, if you find out that your dad also had a baby on your mom, it's just like, it's curtains. There's no more talking, no more none of that. You don't want nothing to do with him. So they all kept that from her, because it's just like, we didn't want you to freak out about something else. And so then Emerson goes to her in her office. He's just like, should I quit? It broke my heart, because he was just like, you're more important to this company than I am, and I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. So should I leave? Do you want me to leave? And he's like, I don't. It just hurt. Like, I feel myself tearing up right now, because it's just like, you know, that feeling of, I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. It's probably better off if I just leave, and you know, people can act like I was never here. So it's just like, for him to go to her and just say, how, because even though she's being rude to him, because it's not his fault, he's just like, how do I make this better? Should I quit and just leave? And of course, she can't seem like the asshole, and it's just like, no, don't leave. There's like a net in here or something. So where are we? Oh, and then Anthony has a little side case of him and Jake was at a restaurant, and they have like a weekly thing of trying to figure out the special ingredients in the barbecue sauce that they eat for the day. And with that, one of the owners asked Anthony to help him sue his brother. And with that case, the brother was trying to branch off into his own restaurant, but he wanted to take the secret recipe for the sauce with him. And the brother said, no, like, I made that recipe. That's my recipe. So they go for negotiations first. And he was like, were you in the kitchen with me when I made the sauce? Like, did you put any effort into it? And he's like, no, I was out front greeting the customers, you know, taking care of the home front. So, you know, Anthony tried to nip it in the bud right there. Like, so see, your client already admitted that he didn't have anything to do with the sauce. But the other brother that's trying to leave pulls out the contract, like, but we have this contract that says everything is 50-50. And so when they take it to court, Anthony uses that same contract, and it's like, whose names are these? And the brother only used his nickname, not his full name. Okay, sorry, I had to chop that up because I had something going on at the end. And so he what did he do? So yeah, he was like, you only signed your nickname, and you can only go into a binding contract if like both of your names is on the company, you know, on the restaurant. And it was only the other brother's name, so technically this contract was null and void. And so Anthony won the case, and after that he took one brother, and then Jake brought the other brother, and they brought them to this construction site of some building that was taken down. And he was like, this used to be a really great place, but I'm not even gonna tell you the name of it, excuse me, because the family let business tear them apart, so the company is no longer. And he's like, you guys have a place that people love. He was like, I took my wife on our first date at your restaurant, and people have memories of sitting down at your place. So you two are about to tear something great apart, and you know, like, you just shouldn't let that happen. But the thing I want to know is, it's just like, okay, the brothers looked at each other, and you could tell that they really didn't want to fight with each other anymore. So they was gonna nip it in the bud. But then Anthony and Jake walk away, and I couldn't help but think, y'all brought them here, so how they gonna get home if you two niggas just pull off and leave them there? But that's what I said. TV shows, I just be thinking about stuff like that. It's just like, okay, y'all brought them here, and y'all just gonna walk away from them. And then so we still have Jake also still working on the George Bell case, and he got his old blood work and sent it to get tested against the crime scene or whatever, and you know, come to find out, of course, it's not his blood. So he's getting out. So George Bell is getting out after, I believe, 16 years. If I'm not mistaken, it was 16 years. And I don't think I said it last episode, but he was a teacher accused of killing a student. So, you know, that's how he ended up in jail. Plus, with him saying that he did it after he got convicted, it's just like, okay. So back to is it Terrenial? Terrenial. So they cross-referenced all the cars that was sitting outside people's houses. They couldn't trace it back to the company. They traced it back to a contractor who worked within the company. And with that, the owner caught wind of that and was like out on the court steps saying how they were gonna sue him because, you know, it was like that guy's fault, but he went on the run. So it's just like, it was kind of a blow to their case again, because it's like this guy gets away with saying he didn't know anything about it and it was this one person. And so he thanks Elijah for bringing it to his attention. And so their last resort is cross-examining him as a witness, the owner. And at first the defense tried to object because they're like, he's not on the witness list. But Elijah said, well, he opened the door as soon as he started talking on the court's step house. So, of course, he's a witness. And, you know, he's just like, do you know anything about suing all these families? And is there any family that got to keep their business after you threatened them and took their farm? And the number was 0. And all the man kept trying to say is, farm lives matter or something like that, or farms matter. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna say farm lives matter because I'd cut this show off. So no, I'm pretty sure it's farms matter. And he's like, do you know that there's a recording of you telling that contractor to get out of Dodge before we could serve him with a subpoena? And he was like, it's past my bedtime, I should have been in bed. The subpoena. He's like, no. And he was like, would you be surprised to hear that there's I think it's like an officer waiting outside with a warrant for your arrest? And he's like, no. So he thinking like ain't nothing going on. But when he stepped outside them doors and down them steps, it was an officer waiting for him to arrest him. And I don't like my hair. I washed it, did like a deep condition, but the curls are like, they're super tight, and I wanted them to be like loose and wavy, but they're, who cares? Who cares? Not y'all. Because I need to go to bed. I am tired. These 2 videos suck, but I really want to get them out and, you know, do my videos. So, what are we doing? What is going on? So yeah, they arrested the guy, farm lives matter, George is getting out of jail, and I think that's it. Yeah, because that was all it was. Okay, bye.